Welcome to Life in Calgary, Alberta. I'm your host, Patrick Murray, and today, guys, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to share my top 5 reasons why I moved to Calgary, Alberta. Now stay tuned, because there's going to be at least one here that I'm sure is going to be a surprise to you guys. But before I do that, if this is your first time to this channel and you want to know what it's like to eat, sleep, breathe, live, and play in Calgary, Alberta, then just hit that subscribe button and click that little bell so you get notified every single time I release a new video. Now guys, I gotta tell you, I've been living in Calgary since 2001. Yes, 2001. Man, time flies when you're having fun. But I've also been a realtor here in the city since 2010. So I've got some specialized knowledge about the city of Calgary itself and some of the surrounding bedroom communities such as Chestermere, Airdrie, Cochrane, and Okotoks. So if you are considering a move here and you want assistance to purchase a home, please feel free to reach out to me. Send me a text, an email, a phone call. I will absolutely get back to you. All right, guys, let's do this as I share my top 5 reasons I moved to Calgary, Alberta, right after this. So everybody makes a move to a new city for different reasons, whether it be jobs, to be close to family, it could be a number of things, and it's personal to everyone. But today I'm going to share my top 5 reasons why I moved to Calgary. Now I want you to know some of these may resonate with you, and at the same time there may be a few surprises here as well. So number 1 is Calgary is a big city, but it is more affordable than other major centers in Canada. So what I mean by that is when I was looking at moving away from the prairies, I was going to move to a larger city. There was no doubt about it. I wanted to live in a larger center. And I was looking at Vancouver, and I was also weighing moving to Calgary as well. But you know what? What weighed heavily on me was the cost of living. The cost of rents in Vancouver and the cost to purchase a home there for me and my family would be astronomical. It's just more expensive. Yes, different way of life, that sort of thing, but Calgary has so much to offer as well. But what it really offered me at the time was affordability. So compared to other major centers, the rents here are much more affordable than other major centers such as Toronto, Vancouver, and at the same time, to purchase a home, boy, it's way more affordable by more than half to purchase a home here in Calgary. So that's number 1 on my list. The second reason why I chose to move to Calgary has to do with diversity. So guys, to me, diversity is very important. I don't want to raise my kids in an area where they're not getting exposure to other cultures, other ethnicities. To me, it's important that they learn a lot about other cultures. And I think by doing so, by living in a larger center, we find we have a niche for all these different cultures. And there's a lot more acceptance that goes on because we learn a little bit more about one another. So that's really important to me. In fact, and this is a note that I'm going to read here, according to Stats Canada, Calgary is the 3rd most diverse major city in Canada, home to more than 240 different ethnic origins and over 165 spoken languages. So to me, that's pretty cool. So Calgary for me is an important place to be. I love going to all the different festivals with all the different cultures and exposing my children to those different cultures. And so to me, that's number 2 on my list, is diversity. Number 3 in my list is proximity to the Rocky Mountains. So for me, you know, I love going to the mountains. I mean, you can go hiking, you can go biking, you can go camping, you can go rock climbing, all these different things you can do there. You can go to the world-class ski hills in the winter time and check out these world-class resorts that are just at our fingertips here. You know what, guys, heck, I even got married on the side of a mountain. So that's how much I really like the mountains. But what I also really like about it is this is our playground in Calgary. It's right, you know, 45 minutes away. I can be in the mountains and just having a great day. In fact, because of its proximity, I can easily drive with my family to Canmore or Banff or go to Lake Louise, you know, go for a hike, pack a picnic, grab a coffee, maybe grab a bite to eat while I'm there, and then drive home at the end of the day and be able to sleep in my own bed. How cool is that? So guys, I promise you there'll probably be at least one thing on my list that might surprise you, and this is incredibly personal to me, but number 4 on my list is Calgary has professional sports teams. I know, okay, Patrick, you got to be kidding me, but for me it's important. That's part of the reason why I liked moving to a larger center. Is I like pro sports. And you know what? We have the Calgary Flames, which is the NHL team here, and I had the privilege of watching them stride towards the cup and being in the Stanley Cup final on the Red Mile in Calgary 17th Avenue. In fact, I live really close to the Red Mile, so I could hear all the mayhem going on and all the excitement. And so to me, that was really cool. I've gone to games with my wife, I've gone to games with my kids, I've gone to games with friends, and you know what? It's just such a joy to be able to enjoy watching them play. Now, the other thing I like is Calgary has a professional football team. We have in the CFL, the Canadian Football League, we have the Calgary Stampeders. Now, you know what? I love the CFL because I find it's really fast moving and you never know what's going to happen because the game can change in an instant because it is that fast moving. And to me, I know there's some real NFL enthusiasts out there that are real purists about the game, and that's their league. But for me, I don't watch that. I like watching the CFL. And you know what? There's nothing like going to a live game and being a part of all the action. So I really like that as well. We also have pro lacrosse team here in Calgary called the Calgary Roughnecks. We have the Calgary FC soccer team, and they play in the Canadian Premier League. And then we also have the Calgary Surge, which is our pro basketball team here, and they play in the the Canadian Elite Basketball League. And they're fairly new to the city, so I'm really excited to go out and catch a game of theirs, and many more to come. And the fifth reason why I decided to move to Calgary has to do with the weather. All right, I know, Patrick, you are so Canadian. I can't believe it. You're talking about the weather, right? Well, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't be Canadian if I didn't talk about the weather. But the weather here is important, so let me explain to you. So I have lived in Vancouver, and trust me, I enjoyed the temperate winters there. They're not as cold as they are in Calgary, but you know what I really had a hard time with was all the gloom. It was cloudy all the time, and that really ate on my psyche. Now at that time I worked for AirBC Air Canada Connector, and I was a flight attendant, so I got to go in the air and get above the clouds and get that exposure to the sunshine, so it made it a little bit better in those winter months. But you know, when I was back home again, I found it gloomy being back in Vancouver. Now, I've lived a great part of my life in Saskatchewan because I was born and raised there, so the early part of my life was spent in Saskatchewan. And you know, it's what you're used to, right? You get used to it. But the winters, let me tell you, they can be cold, and they can be cold for sustained periods of time. I remember in another part of my life when I was living in Saskatchewan, in Saskatoon actually, I was a chauffeur. I was driving limousine, and I was picking up a pickup at the airport at 5:30 in the morning. It was so cold, I let the car run all night, and I got in, I went to pick these people up at the limousine, and at 5:30 in the morning it was minus 55 degrees Celsius. Yes, minus 55 degrees Celsius. So I mean, that's how cold it can get, right? I mean, there is the possibility that that can happen. Now that's extreme, but we don't normally see temperatures that cold, that sustained, and that wasn't a sustained time. But you can get minus 30, minus 40 for sustained periods of time in the prairies. So for me, that was tough. But what I did like about it was they had the sunshine, and that made a bit of a difference. So moving to Calgary is kind of an in-between between Vancouver and living in Saskatchewan. You know, we get these beautiful summers here like we're experiencing right now. We get these warm temperatures, maybe get some rain in the evenings, which is great, cools it down a little bit. You know, it stays light out until 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, which is wonderful. So that's lots of fun. But the winters are also different here. I mean, yeah, it can get cold here, but we don't get the sustained cold. It might be cold for maybe a week or a few more days, 10 days, that sort of thing at a time, and then we get a nice break. Now, what I mean by nice breaks is in Calgary, we get something called Chinooks here, which are warm winds that blow off the mountains in the foothills, and they blow into Calgary, and with it comes a band of cloud. And what that band of cloud does is it insulates that layer of warmth within the city. So we can get like 16 degrees Celsius, 16 above, and warmer, and you'll even see people out in shorts. Now, something else I like about the winters here is when we do get those cold snaps, we actually do get the sunshine, just like Saskatchewan. But we get a lot of sunshine here. So even if it's a cold day, You look out your window, you see the sunshine, you know what, your mood kind of lifts because you see that sunshine. I don't know about you, but sunshine just makes me a little happier, and a lot of people that I know a little bit happier. And in fact, Calgary has more sunshine than any other major city in Canada, with an average of 333 days of sunshine a year. Now guys, that's really saying something. So as I said, guys, if you are considering a move to Calgary and you would like assistance to purchase a home, this could even be to one of our bedroom communities in the surrounding area, feel free to reach out to me, send me a text, an email, phone call. My information's below. I will absolutely get back to you so you can start living your life in Calgary, Alberta.